What's up, guys? My name is Gabe. Welcome back to the Trojan Blade. Welcome back to a brand new video. This is episode 39 of the viewer comment series. The series where you guys, the viewers, submit comments and questions over on YouTube and Twitter. But as the channel continues to grow, I am getting a lot of submissions every single week, and I am getting more than enough to fill the episodes just here on YouTube. So going forward, the call for questions is not going to go out on Twitter, but exclusively on the YouTube community page on Tuesday mornings. So if you're all watching this, you're obviously all on YouTube. So if you do want to be featured, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, and every Tuesday morning, look out for that post calling for questions. I will pick the best ones, and then we'll go from there. But guys, of course, if you are enjoying the videos, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Really appreciate you guys being here. Now let's get into this. First up, from the Glowing Samoan, he asks, are you out on the defensive coordinator? No, I am not out on D'Anton Lynn. I am still a big fan of his. Am I as high on him as I was at the start of the season? No, I'm not. Are there some schematic issues? Yes. Is there a lack of talent on this defense? Yes. Can D'Anton Lynn do a much better job next year? Yes. At the same time, I've watched Lincoln Riley teams for a long time, and this defense looks like a Lincoln Riley defense. He's not the one in charge of it, but somehow every year the defense looks exactly the same. Whether it's Oklahoma or USC, we see the exact same thing year in, year out. When there's one common factor throughout every single season of him being a head coach, and that's him, whether it's something he does with the way we practice, if the scheme just doesn't lend itself to the defense becoming tougher or ready for game action, I don't know what it is. I don't have the answers, but I find it very difficult to place the blame on Lynn when what we're seeing is literally what we see every year from a Lincoln Riley coach defense. And before any of you say, oh, he doesn't coach the defense, he's the head coach. Yes, he does coach the defense. He's the CEO, he's the head coach, everything is his responsibility. To say that the defense has nothing to do with him is not genuine at all. Next up, from Kai Trojan, he asked, could Kennedy make the move to linebacker? So he's talking about Kennedy Urlacher. This is a move I would love to see. Kennedy has been very impressive in his limited action this year, primarily playing safety, but when he gets asked to be put in those coverage kind of situations, you see the lack of speed, and you just see the lack of coverage instinct. He is a linebacker, in my opinion. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but I mean, he plays more physical than a guy like Desmond Stevens who's bigger than him. That's the honest to God truth. So Kennedy Urlacher to linebacker, obviously playing the position his dad famously played it for the Chicago Bears and for the New Mexico Lobos. Shout out New Mexico. But yeah, that's a move that I could for sure see happening. Great question. Kennedy's skill set would make him a perfect fit in my opinion. And he's still a young guy. You have a lot of time to mold him into whatever you want to be. So that's something I could for sure see happening. Next up, from Anaerobic07. They ask, looking at the incoming recruiting class, which pieces, if any, do you think could make the most tangible impact next season? Man, this is another great question. This class is so loaded. There's a bunch of guys I could say. Kenai Pepe is the guy that's coming in. He absolutely could make an impact. 6'7", 320, #1 tackle in the country. Dude's an absolute beast. Mark Bowman, the tight end, I believe is going to be your day one starter next year. Walker Lyons has been okay this season. I think that's the full extent of it. Mark Bowman's ceiling is limitless. He's going to be a first-round pick in the draft if everything breaks the right way. Size, speed, strength, instinct, smarts. He has the entire package. Booby Feaster is a guy that athletically could for sure make an impact next year. 6'1", 180, elite athlete. Is a guy like Tom ready to make an impact on the defensive line? Luke Wafel, the edge from the state of New Jersey. Elbert Hill, the corner from Akron, Ohio. Deshaun Rideau is a hell of a running back. He could absolutely make an impact next year depending on how that room looks. Don't think Jonas Williams is going to be ready to play next year, but I mean, you just go down and look at all these names: Brandon Lockhart, Sean Alston, Samote Katawanga. I mean, Trent Mosley, Sean Scott, Luke Weaver, Brett Collier, Peyton Dyer. It's ridiculous. Like, this class is just loaded with quality, loaded with potential. So really hard to narrow it down, but if I had to pick three guys, I'd say Kenai Pepe, Mark Bowman, and probably Elbert Hill, the corner from Akron. That guy has a college-ready skill set. Great question, though. I am going to have a full deep dive breakdown of this class after signing day, so be on the lookout for that. Next up, from Mr. Pukahead over on YouTube, he says, I looked at the schedule for next year. It looks a lot tougher. What do you predict our record will be, and what record would Riley be put in on the hot seat? So predicting records at this point is kind of pointless just because we have no idea what we're going to see next year, who's going to be on this team. But when you look at that schedule, we obviously have Fresno State and Notre Dame as our two non-cons. We do have to add one more. That game is yet to be announced. For the road games, we're at Indiana, at Penn State, at Rutgers, at the Baby Bruins, and at Wisconsin. And then at home, Maryland, Ohio State, Oregon, and Washington. Again, to go along with Fresno and Notre Dame. A ridiculous schedule. But next year, anything short of a playoff appearance, and I think Lincoln's gone. I really do. I think it's year 5. It's playoffs or bust. Look at how much money we're pouring into this program right now. Jen Cohen's not going to be happy with 9-3 or 8-4. Like, we need to be a playoff team. Yeah, the schedule sucks. Lots of teams have hard schedules. There's a question from Scott. If USC were to fail to make the playoffs next year, do you believe Jen Cohen would fire Lincoln Riley next December? And yeah, I do. Next year, we have to be a playoff team, guys. It's year 5. Honestly, I don't even buy into the whole, oh, it's actually year 2 because he wasted the first 2 years. Like just giving him a pass for year 1 and 2. I don't think like that. Those years counted. He made big mistakes. This is not year 2. This is year 4. Lincoln Riley has been the coach at USC for 4 years. We have not made the playoff. Did we come close? Yeah. But is that what the standard is at USC? I don't think so. So yeah, he has to make the playoffs next year or he's gone. Next up from Frisky Dingo over on Twitter. He says, gun to your head, 2022 Jordan Addison at full health versus 2025 Makai Lemon. Who was more talented? Oh my goodness. Well, if the question is who was more talented, I'm going to go with Jordan Addison. Just from a physical running standpoint, he's the more talented receiver. Who's the better receiver? Who would I draft first? Makai Lemon. Makai is the more complete player, much more diverse skill set. Both are outstanding. Both are insanely good players. Don't get me wrong. Jordan Addison's a stud in the NFL, and Makai Lemon's going to be a stud in the NFL. Next up from Fight On Oos over on YouTube. He says, yo, brother G, you see the Gavin clip? Bad look. This program has zero leadership. Yeah, I did see it. I'm not going to lie. It's pretty cringy and embarrassing, and definitely not something that the associate AD should be doing. There's a lot of problems with the mentality at USC, and when you have an administrator on the field taunting the opposing sideline in a road game, that's a terrible look. Mix that with the cringy and ridiculous game notes, I guess they're called, that the USC SID office put out. Very bad run of appearances for USC just as a program. Honestly, the on-the-product football part is something you can be proud of. They play really hard. They don't quit. But everything surrounding it is kind of a cringy mess. And I'll leave it at that. Great question, though. Next up from Nathan Fox, he asks, if ND versus USC's contract does not get renewed, who do you think USC replaces the game with? And if you could choose the opponent, who would you choose? Fantastic question. All right, so if it does not get renewed and they're off the schedule, give me one or Stanford or Cal and rotate them every single year. Have UCLA play the other one. So for example, next year we'll be at Stanford, the Bruins will be home to Cal, and then you swap. I love that idea. Stanford and Cal are 2 of the games I miss the most. I miss all the Pac-12 games. I'm not going to lie to you guys at all. I miss Utah. I miss that rivalry that was brewing. I really do. I hate that we didn't get a chance to resolve it and punch them back at the end there. I miss Arizona and Arizona State and Washington State and Oregon State. I miss all of it because with the Pac-12, we all knew each other. We all had history. We all had taken something from each other at some point. It geographically made sense. I just miss it so much. I really do. So definitely Stanford or Cal to answer your question. But if you want to throw in a Washington State or an Oregon State, definitely at home, do not want to go up to Pullman or Corvallis. Those places are snake pits. Or just any of the old Pac-12 opponents, Colorado, Arizona, I'd be perfectly cool with that as well. Like every year, if we want to do a new Pac-12, I guess, since they're expanding, like 2 traditional Mountain West teams and 1 former Pac-12 opponent. I think that would be a really cool non-con. Like have Boise State at home, have Fresno State at home, and then play a game like at Colorado. I think that'd be really, really cool. And to finish up here from Scott, he says, USC is no longer a serious program and hasn't been for some time. How do the fans keep getting let down year after year and not jump ship? I remember when apathy set in for the Helton era. Will it happen again under Riley? So breaking this down, the first part, no longer a serious program, that I disagree with. Only because of the amount of money we're pumping into this thing. We have what looks to be one of the best GMs in the entire country. We have an elite athletic director. We have a lot of money. We have a gorgeous new facility that's going to be finished here in about 7 months, I think. Maybe a little bit longer. So I do think we're a serious program. Is the head coach operating this program the right way or at full potential? I don't think so. But I do think we are serious. How do the fans keep getting let down year after year and not jump ship? Because that's not what we do. If you're here watching this channel, you're not someone that would jump ship. You're in here for the long haul, for better or for worse. I don't know about you guys, but I'm one of those people. Like, I'm a Cleveland Browns fan, as I say all the time. And I get a lot of DMs like, why or how do you do it? Because when you love a team, like genuinely love them, you're not just there for the good times. You commit yourself to that team. You're there for the ups and you're there for the downs. And when you go through those downs and you're fully locked in, when you finally get those good times again, it feels so much better and you have such an appreciation for it. I was born in 1998. I was a USC fan from birth. My dad went there. My granddad taught there. So I always loved USC. But look at the era I was born into. When we lost the game to Texas in the national title, my dad had to explain to me that we lost. I didn't understand it. My entire football viewing life had been wins, essentially. And when things started to go off a cliff in that final year of Pete, I was shell-shocked. I didn't know how to handle it. I was confused. It was so hard. I thought the world was ending. And then when you go through all of that, when you go through the Kiffin letdown in 2012, when you go through the whole Sark thing, and then you have the Rose Bowl year in 2016 with Sam Darnold and Juju and Adoree', that made that moment so special, so epic. I'll never forget watching that game with my dad. And when I was a kid, I took the Rose Bowl completely for granted. We beat Michigan in 2004, Michigan again in 2006, or the 2007 Rose Bowl, I should say. And then we beat Illinois, and then we beat Penn State. The Rose Bowl was a given when I was a kid. That's one thing I've noticed. A lot of you guys that grew up in the 90s, and you have the whole Hackett era stink in your history, I've noticed that there's a very different sort of dynamic in how we view the program. Because I was born into a world where I didn't know that USC was ever not dominant. So that's where my standard is. It's very, very high. But as I've also learned, obviously, over the course of time, it's not always that easy. It's not always like that. We have these dips. At USC, our ceiling is higher than anybody in the country, but we also have a very low floor. So if you're a USC fan, you know that it's going to get better at some point. And you know that we're going to be back on top of the college football world. So if you jump ship now, I'm not one of those people where I'm like, you're either with us or you're against us all the time. I think that's ridiculous. People can fan however they want. I'm not one of those people who judge. But if you're a person that watches this channel and you're a diehard USC fan, you don't have a choice. You are here for the long haul. Apathy can set in, but USC football is still a part of your daily life. You still think about it all the time. Now, things can turn toxic, like we saw at the end of the Helton era, where people were actively rooting against the team, not because of the players, but just because we needed change to happen. I wasn't one of those people, but after we got blown out against Stanford and the dust settled, and I saw that Helton got fired that next day, or that Monday, I don't remember. I remember feeling a sense of relief. So things can get there. I don't think it's going to happen. Like when it's time to fire Riley, assuming he can't turn it around and turn us into a playoff threat, I think we're all going to know. And I don't think Jen is going to prolong it. I think she's just going to do it. So let's hope for the best for next year, because Lincoln Riley is going to be your coach in 2026, barring something crazy. And by crazy, I mean him taking another job, which I highly doubt. But the Oklahoma people highly doubted it too, so we'll see. But yeah, even if apathy does set in, less people will care, but I'll still be here, still plugging away, and still covering the team that I love so much, and I know so many of you do as well. No idea if that whole spiel made any sense. I'm going to edit this video and listen back to it. Hopefully it did. But if you guys did happen to enjoy the video, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Have a wonderful and safe Thanksgiving with your friends and family. So very thankful for each and every one of you who's ever watched a video, left a like or a dislike, or left a comment. Really appreciate you guys. And yeah, you're all awesome. And as always, take care and fight on.